Hello, Hornet Nation, and welcome to the North Rink of the Roseau Ice Complex, where your Bantam Hornets will be taking on Fargo. It's a tough day yesterday as the Hornets went down in defeat in two successive contests. So we're looking for a big rebound today against Fargo. We don't know a lot about Fargo, other than it was a 1996 Academy Award winning film starring Frances McDormand as the indomitable Marge Gunderson, Sheriff of Brainerd. Anyway, no doubt they're pretty good because seemingly every team in this tournament is pretty good. And now is time, after a long day yesterday, to put all our chips into the center of the table and start playing some real hockey. So we are moments away from puck drop. I believe Fargo is the Freeze. Although I'm not sure what the emblem on their jersey. They look like some sort of crusading army from years gone past. Nonetheless, we're going to start out with Nolan, Kurvita, and Ewers, backed up by Ferrara and Mizzelt, I'm assuming. No, yes. Still waiting on the final lineups. It'll be Darlene and Mizzelt. And Ferrara, Nolan, and Kurvita. So, and away we go. Puck tied up, thrown back to Darlene, who sends it to Mizzelt. Rink wide all the way up to Kurvita. Kurvita now plunges it into the Freeze zone as the Hornets give chase. Far up on the wall, now Mizzelt from the point. Looking. Tied up by his Freeze man. Here's a break for the Fargo Freeze. Thwarted by Darlene as he circles in his own zone looking for a lane. All the way up, a bit too far for Nolan. Captured by the Freeze as they look to pound it down into the Hornet zone, and they do. Darlene will be the first man back. He tried to swipe it to Mizzelt. Mizzelt contains, throws it up to Ferrara. Ferrara loses it on the wall, and the Freeze bang it right back down. Now Nolan in his own zone, pounding away at it. Freeze containing and throwing it down for Mizzelt. Mizzelt from behind his net, looking up. Long pass into the equipment. Kurvita tries to handle it. Now it's Ferrara. Ferrara through the red line, pounding his way. Here's a break for the Freeze as they roll up on the right side. Held out by Mizzelt. And we have an offside. With no score in this contest. 15:59 on the clock. Hornets in their green. Eschewing their tournament jerseys to change the vibe. Ivan Ian with Dorsey and Hester. Backed up by Potter and Potts. Potter from his own zone. Swept towards the crease area where Potts picks it up behind the net. Throwing it up to Dorsey. Dorsey shovels it up for a foot race for Ivan Ian Hester. All the way down. A bit too far, and icing is the call. So we'll get a face-off to the right of Bambry. And Ivany takes his spot in the circle. Puck drop, tied up on the line. Potts comes away from behind his net. Sliding it up to Hester on the wall, a bit too far, held at the point. A dribbling shot turned away by Bambry. Now up on the far side wall. Another one has to be settled and stopped by Bambry, as the Hornets just couldn't pound it out of their own zone. Disappointing losses yesterday. Clearly good teams, but we just couldn't put it in the net. Ivany on the draw, sent back to the point. The Freeze tries to throw it on the net. It's contested with traffic, and now it's in the corner. Huge guy rolling through. Stopped by Bambry. Quick short side shot. Now up to Hester. Hester rolls up. He's rolling. Can he get there? No. Dorsey in pursuit behind the net. Held at the point. Potts, quick shot. Banged around in traffic. Boy, they got some huge guys. Two huge guys. Didn't even get a huge guy report. Dorsey throwing it down the wall to Ivany. Picked off. Thrown rink wide to nobody as the Freeze looks to exit their zone. All the way up. Thrown up by Ewers on the wall, and now it's sent all... Hey, good to see Helmer back on the ice. Helmer from behind the net. Reverses course, looks, long pass to Ewers, up to Berge. Berge, can you get there? No, it's swept back down and thrown down. Darlene now from his own zone. Looks for a lane, sends it over to Wilkins on the near side. Through the red line, gaining right to Berge in the slot. A firing shot. Saved by the Freeze tender. Good puck movement by the Hornets in these early stages of the first period. With 14:33 on the clock, there is no score. Bergmeyer back to Ewers. Ewers tries to center it to nobody. Now the Freeze on the counter. Rolling through. Darlene holding his man to the outside. Stopping short. The Freeze intercepted by Bergmeyer. He throws up to Wilkins. Wilkins, can you? Oh, and he's pickpocketed, and here come the Freeze. Gaining on the right side. Rolling all the way down. It's held up there by Helmer smartly as Wilkins takes up the cause right in the slot. Now it's Wilkins all by himself, rolling up. He's got Ewers on the right side. You can see him. Knocked down by Ewers. Ewers tried a little short side stuffer. It's out front. It's banging. Nothing. It's still banging. In the corner. Ewers throwing it to Wilkins. Wilkins looks, shovels it up on the wall to Ewers. Ewers throwing it back to Potts at the point. Over to Darling, or Mizzle. Mizzle fires. Trapped away by the Freeze tender. Good pressure by the Hornets. But nothing. So Nolan, Ferrara, and Kavita roll on. Face off to the right of the Freeze tender. Puck tied up in the knot, kicked back, held by Kavita. Kavita rolling on the circle, banging away in the corner. Now picked up by the Freeze as they cycle behind the net. Held down tight by the Hornet forecheck. It rolls up on the wall. Mizzle pinches, holds the line. Now it sneaks out, and Potts deals with it from center ice. Tipped away. Ferrara coming back on the back check. Swept by Potts. Potts now looks up, looking, banging up on the wall. Held down, still in the zone. Now it pops out. Kurvitas chases the puck to the far side wall. Thrown down into the zone. Potts looks. He sees Mizzle. Mizzle tries to send it up to Nolan. He's still firing up, and now it sneaks down into the Freeze zone. From the corner, Freeze launching it up high, now sneaking down a 2-on-2 situation. Potter holding his man to the outside. Puck sneaks down in the corner. Potter ties up his man and shoots the puck to the near side corner. Freeze on a good forecheck as they roll it back to the point. Looking, a cranker! Waffled aside by Bambry, now on the far side wall. Freeze putting a good attack in, now picked up by Nolan. Nolan slides it around to Mizzle. Mizzle looks up ice, stick checked away, and now they drive towards the net, looking for a shot. Bambry got a piece of that one. And now it slides behind the net, Mizzle from the corner. Looking up, long saucer pass, this will go down for an icing. With 12:14 on the clock, we still don't have a goal, as both teams have had their chances. So Ivany, Dorsey, and Hester. Backed up by Helmer and Potter. Potter tied up behind his net. Freeze chasing. Helmer in the corner, battling his man. Throwing it near to their near side to Hester. Hester looks up ice. Gets it to Potter. Potter banging on the wall. It's chipped right back down into the Hornet zone. And we get something, and it appears to be an offsides. So we'll do it again. That's what we'll do. Ivany just outside the Hornet zone, ready to take the drop, tie it up. Freeze come away, and they dance across the blue line, and they pull themselves off sides. Look at number 24. He's huge. I bet you he has his license. Ivany on the draw, sends it back to Potter. Potter looking up, tried to get it to Hester, and it sneaks down, and we're going to get an icing. So, face-off comes down into the Hornet zone to the left of Bambry. And we shall do it again. Potter from his own corner slides it across to Helmer. Helmer looking up, gets it to Dorsey. Dorsey tried to shovel it to Ivany, and it's sent right back down. Potter from the near side corner. Up on the wall. Hester chips it up. It's sneaking all the way down. And we get another icing. Puck sent down in the corner. Potter battling his man, shoveling over to Helmer. Helmer all the way up to Ivany. Ivany through the neutral zone. Slides his puck through the defender, rolling down the right side, stopping short, looking. Back to Helmer at the point. From the slot, firing. Saved by the Freeze tender. It's out front. Ivany trying to hold the zone. It sneaks back to Mizzle at mid-ice. He slides it over to Helmer. Helmer gains on the left side, walks in, centering pass to Dorsey. Firing! Did you see that? Yes, uppers! And that's it. That's how you do it, people. The Hornets up 1-0 at 11:05 in the first. Beautiful passing. Puck movement. That's the kind of hockey that we came up to Rosa to see, and that's what we got. Well done, Hornets. As Wilkins, Bergmeyer, and Ewers roll on, backed up by Dahlin and Mizzelt. Mizzelt from his back end throws it up to Wilkins. Wilkins on the near side wall, trying to force it into the Freeze zone. Boys battling, sending back to Mizzelt. Mizzelt rolls, looks, drops it to Dahlin. Dahlin looks. He's going to take it himself. He's rolling through. Look at Dahlin. Shoveling it down into the zone. Freeze looking for a breakout. Stopped short by Mizzelt. Mizzelt from the high slot, firing. Trapped away by the Freeze tender. Wilkins battles in the corner. Ewers picking it up, rolling in the corner. Slides it back to Mizzle at the point. A quick one-timer into the skates of the Freeze as they now look to break out from the far side corner. Bergmeyer in to disrupt play, picked up by Wilkins. Wilkins to Ewers. Ewers! Oh, saved by the Freeze. Look at this pressure from the Hornets. Renewed life after that score. Battling behind the net. Puck sent to the near side corner. Freeze throw it right back down the other side. Wilkins battling his man. Using his size. Curling around. Working it. Oh, and he loses the handle on the puck. Sent back to Dahlin. Dahlin fires it towards the net, and it goes to the near side corner. Mizzle pinching up smartly and throwing it right back down. This forecheck is relentless. Now sliding out of the zone. Mizzle from Kurvita from mid-ice. Floats it down, and we get an offsides with 9:47 on the clock. Hornets up 1-0. This is what you do on a Saturday. You get that early lead. Nolan on the draw with Ferrara and Kurvita. Backed up by Potter and Potts. Puck squirts to the near side wall. Freeze chasing. Looking from their own zone. They go D to D. Look up ice. Trying to chip it up the wall. Kurvita now picks it up. Reverses course. Now it's Kurvita time. Rolling, gaining on the right side. Toe dragging all the way in. Swept aside by the Freeze. They go rink wide. Now headmanning up through the red line. Gaining on the right side. Potter sweeps his man aside. Well done. Potter tried to send it around. Now it's up Ferrara. Right in the slot area. Dangerous as Bergie picks it up. Or Potts. Potts gaining on the left side. All the way down. Look at Potts. He's a Paul Coffey skater. Look at him. All the way behind the net. Picked up there. Nolan battling his man. The Freeze look to reverse course. Rink wide pass is errant. Picked up by Potter in the zone. He looks up. Fires to Ferrara. Picked up by Nolan. Boys battling. Right on the line. Who's going to come away? I don't know. It's Potter to Kurvita. He does a backhand pass. Now it's down to Potts. Back to Potter. Potter from his own zone. Looking up. Dishing it down into the Freeze territory. And we get an icing. I don't know. Yes, we do. Both teams go for wholesale line changes with 8:41 on the clock. As Ivany, Hester, and Dorsey roll on. Ivany takes the draw to the left of Bambry, squirts back to Helmer. Helmer controlling from his own zone, looking up ice, shoveling to Dorsey. Dorsey in his skates, tries to plow it through. He gets it through. Picked up by Hester momentarily. Freeze now driving down the right side. Trying to slide in. Dahlin does a good job stepping in front. all the way up, tipped in front, all the way over the net. Dangerous play there as Helmer now reverses course behind the net. Darlene battling his man, sliding up, bit too far for Dorsey, held at the point. Long shot, steered aside by Bambry. Darlene sweeping it back to Helmer. Helmer from his own corner. Up to Hester on the wall, intercepted by the Freeze. The Freeze now doing their best. From the high slot, into the traffic, nothing. Helmer from the wall, trying to bang it out. Boys got to get control here as Ivany races against a huge guy, rolling in. Ivany stopping short, looking for help, trying to slide it across. Ivany from his corner, looking. Pinned up on the boards, picked up by Dorsey behind the net. Looking. Dorsey sliding it back to Darlene. Darlene chipping it up on the boards. And then Fargo now taking their chances and throwing it down deep. And we should get an icing, and we do. With 7:31 on the clock. Hornets clinging to a 1-goal lead in this first frame. Bergmeyer, Ewers, and Wilkins taking up the cause with Potts and Mizzelt in the backcourt. Puck tied up on the dot, naked in the slot, nobody home. Freeze trying to throw it up on the wall. Good job by the Hornets to hold it down deep. Ewers picking up the puck, trying to slide it out front, nobody home. And now it's a fast break for the Freeze. Potts holding his man to the outside, rolling down. The Freeze cannot center the puck. Good job by Potts to hold his man. Boys battling out front. Puck free, comes to Kurvita, or Mizzle. He throws it up on the wall, bit too far for Wilkins. Puck sent right back down. Potts now sweeping it back to Mizzle. Mizzle from the corner, looks up ice, all the way up, held in the zone. Now Bergmeyer, he's got a chance. Rolling through the red line, sneaking through, stick checked away, picked up by Mizzle. Mizzle from the red line. He's going to wheel in. Gaining on the right side into the slot area. Can you get a shot? Yes. No. Yes. Another shot. Saved by the Freeze tender. Good pressure. But nothing. So let's see what Nolan Ferrara and Kurvita can do with 6:38. Potter and Helmer backing up on the blue line. Freeze looking for an outlet. Up the far side wall as they look to advance the puck through the neutral zone. Kurvita doing a great job on the back check, sweeping it away, gaining on the left side, rolling in from the circle, centering. Nolan firing! Legged away by the Freeze tender. Now the Freeze working it. Helmer boxing his man out, rolling down, recovering the puck, swept over to Nolan, now in the corner for Helmer. Helmer dishing up the wall to Kurvita. Kurvita bangs his man to the wall. Quick shot on Bambry, turned aside. Helmer firing all the way around to the near side. Ferrara trying to throw it out of the zone, using his body smartly as he rolls through the red line, sneaks in up to Nolan. Nolan gaining in the center, holding, wheeling, dealing, firing, and saved by the Freeze with 5:49 in the first. Shots aplenty on both sides. I would say the Hornets have the upper hand at this point as Ivany is set to take the draw. Tied up on the dot. Hester rolling from his wall. Sends it back to Darlene at the point. A firing shot, a tip, nothing. Ivany from the corner. Looking. Sliding around the wall. Back to Darlene. Darlene holds. Sends it right back down, but there are the Freeze. Good job by Hester to roll through and stop that puck on the wall, trying to sweep it back to Darlene. Here come the Freeze on the counter. Long rink-wide pass, can't be held, and Mizzled is there, slapping it up the wall. Ivany trying to bang it out. He can't do it. Darlene now cycles behind his net. Looking up. Trying to get it up. He's going to do it himself. Look at Darlene go. Oh, and a long, weird shot. Out of nowhere, Darlene scoring from outside the blue line as he tried to fire it in. It took one bounce and it went over the Freeze's pad into the corner of the net. And we got a 2 marker on the board. And Fargo has nothing. 5:10 in the first, 2-0 lead. Then the Hornets got some juices flowing as the boys are set to take the draw from center ice. Dorsey curls, looks, throws it back to Potts. Potts over to Potter. Potter up to Hester. Hester sweats it up the wall, gets it to, and he's banged up. Freeze working it. A lot of commotion. A lot of hands up in the air. Hester pushing his man, and the puck is sent down into the Hornet zone. Potts from behind the net gives it to Potter, who throws it up to Hester, one-timing it right back to the point. Dangerous play. Now Dorsey sweeping through the red line, gaining on the right side, all the way down with speed, rolling around, stopping short. Well done. Throwing it back to the point to Potts. Potts to Potter. Potter in on the circle, firing! Saved by the Freeze tender. Dorsey from the corner looks at his options. Held up on the boards. Freeze trying to work it out of the zone. Dorsey and Potts doing a good job holding it. Now Ivany in. Puck sneaks out of the zone. Hester now contains and throws it back to Potter. Potter all the way up to Ivany. Ivany on the line, walks in, fires. Another one, a rebound in the offing. Nobody home. Hester pestering his man. Freeze try to throw a long pass, stopped by Potter right outside the zone. Potter pitching it down into the zone with less than 4 minutes in this first frame. Fargo banging it up the wall. Held by Darlene at neutral ice. All the way over. Just a bit too far for Bergmeyer, and the puck sails down into the Freeze zone. Freeze on the breakout. Well done, working it, but Helmer is there to thwart that, and Darlene will be the last man back to pick the puck up. Boxes his man out. Helmer tried to slide it up to Wilkins, and it is out of play with 3:26 on the clock. Someone's not stopping the clock. Clock. I think they heard me. So Berge on the drop to the left of Bambry. Puck pinched by the point all the way down. Darlene from his backside looking up ice. Stopping short. Hassled by, right in the slot. Dangerous. Up over the net. Bergmeyer from the corner. Boxes his man out and sends him to the ground. Wilkins pounding on the wall. Helmer trying to throw it out. He picks up his own puck. He's wheeling. He's got Ewers. Sliding it over. Ewers rolling in. Firing. A rebound. Nothing. Sent into the corner. Ewers trying to center it up. It's going to come back to Potts at the point. Or Berge. Berge fires. Waffled away. Good pressure by the Hornets. And now the Freeze try to exit the zone, and they do. Held on the line by Darlene momentarily. Wilkins trying to slide over to Helmer. Helmer's going to have to pick this one up in the corner as he bangs it up the wall. Held at the point by the Freeze, sent back down low. Freeze trying to work it into that slot area, picked up by Darlene. Just a bit too far for Ewers as the puck bounces off the point. Ewers, tenacious, look at him, working it, over to Wilkins. Wilkins driving in, Wilkins centering it, nobody home. As some of the Hornets were going off for a line change. Potts from his own zone, slides it over to Mizzle, D to D, up to Kurvita. Look at Kurvita, you're a good hockey player. Yes, no, Clanker City. Nothing, out of play. The humanity with 2:05 on the clock. Kurvita wants that one back. Let's see what he does for an encore. Nolan on the draw. Sliding it all the way back to Mizzle at the point. A shot, a tip, a scoop, and a save. So we'll do it again. Nolan on the drop. Sent back to Mizzle at the point. Another shot, another save. Once again, from the point, sliding over to Potts. Potts banging it down low. Freeze intercept and throw it rink wide. Here come the Freeze as they roll through the neutral zone. Picked up there by the Hornets and reversing course. Kurvita moving in, sliding it up to Ferrara, just a bit too far. Ferrara from the corner pushing it back, and Fargo is now countering with their own press. At the red line, stopped by Potts. Well done, Potts, as he bangs his way through the red line. Freeze now, working on the right side all the way down. Trying to slide it out front, nobody home. Freeze pressing, wheeling around the high slot area. Long shot, not on net. Another shot, banged out front, picked up by Mizzle. Mizzle looking. Cruising through the neutral zone and gaining on the left side. Mizzle. Out front. No one can pick up that loose puck. Here comes the Freeze on the counter. Rolling through the neutral zone, 3-on-2 situation. All the way in on the line, around the dot, trying to center it. There it is out front, banging, nothing. Yes, saved, swept away. Mizzle, long rink-wide pass to nowhere. And the Hornets go for a line change. Here's an opportunity for the Freeze. Headman puck swept away by Helmer. Helmer now looking up ice, banging it up on the wall. Pinched back down by the Freeze as they're working on the line. Sent back into the Hornet zone. 30 seconds left. Up to Ivany. Ivany skates across the line and he is thwarted. Freeze on the counterattack is furious action back and forth. Potter collects in the corner. He tried to sweep it around to Helmer. He's knocked down. Helmer picks it up, throws it up to Hester. Hester on the wall and Potter's down. And the whistle is blown. Potter is now upright, being helped back gingerly to the bench. We'll keep an eye on that. Not sure where the injury occurred, but it's always good to see him upright. So we get a resumption of play with 17 seconds on the clock. And we'll get a face-off in the Hornet zone with Dorsey, Ivany, and Hester backed up by Helmer and Darlene. Ivany on the drop, stolen away by Darlene from behind the net, sweeping up to Dorsey. Dorsey looking up ice, trying to center it over to Ivany, picked off by the Freeze. As they drive towards the zone, picked up by Helmer. Helmer, last dance. He's rolling in. Helmer firing. Waffled away. Oh, the rebound for Ivany. And the clock strikes 0. And we leave it. Hornets 2. Fargo nothing. And we'll be back.
All right, Hornets fans, just keeping you on your toes. Getting the second period underway. So Potter's going to get looked at off ice. Up front, we will have Curvita, Nolan, Ferrara, Hester, and Darlene on D. Hornets holding a 2-0 lead. We will see how this goes. Stuff like that tends to understandably suck out energy when you watch a teammate not doing or not being able to play with you. So we'll see how this goes. Quick pass here. Nolan with a great shot. This goalie just leaves the juiciest rebounds. Darlene throwing it down low here in the near corner. Ferrara goes in for a quick grab. Curvita back to Ferrara. Ferrara back the other way. Puck comes up to Helmer. Helmer pinches down. Ferrara in to help. Puck loose. Under the Freeze control for the moment. Good stick there by Ferrara down low. I can tell you, energy levels are sticking up high. Hopefully this is some good motivation to the boys. We've got them pinned up against the boards, and let's just keep it going. Ferrara hustling. Freeze looking to get it out of the zone. Ferrara not interested in letting them do so. Curvita grabs that puck. He puts it up to Darlene. Darlene shot at the point, finds a Freeze skate and gets deflected. Freeze finally, after about a minute, get it out of their zone, heading down to the Hornets' end. Puck loose in the middle. Curvita runs into Hester, who was dashing over looking to get that puck, but tried to make sure that he didn't go offsides. Puck behind the net. Freeze are going to turn it back here on the near side. Cross-ice pass is not going to make it there. Curvita dumps it down low, but Freeze still in possession as the Hornets are going for a line change. Hester hustling. He's doing a great job holding down the fort, waiting for his line mates to come out and join him. Puck loose in the middle. Mizzle back to grab that. Floats it over to Darlene. Darlene pushes it up to Dorsey. Dorsey's going to find some room here on the near side. Drops it down low. Working his man behind the net. Ivany in to help. Potts comes in. Still working here on the near side. Freeze. Getting possession. They're going to send it over to the far side, and they're just done. Throwing it down for an icing, looking to get some fresh feet out there. 14:51 remaining in period number 2. Hornets need to start playing preschool rules. We have a 2-goal lead. We're not sharing, and we won't give it up. Ivany, Hester, Dorsey up front, Darlene and Helmer on D. Ivany to take the face-off. Puck over to Dorsey off the draw. He's able to push it into the far corner. Freeze working it on the far boards. Ivany giving some pressure, so the Freeze turn it up on the near boards. Able to clear it, and that is going to go, wasn't going to be icing anyway. Refs had waved that off. Puck behind Banbury. Not going anywhere. Now the Freeze come out with it. They're going to send it up to the point. Shot down low. Guy waiting outside the crease couldn't get anything on it. Up to Dorsey. Dorsey's got room. He finds Hester in the middle. Hester's got space. Heads in with Ivany and Dorsey. Hester down low. Working around. Puts it up to Darlene at the point. Darlene over to Helmer, just a little in front. Helmer with the grab. He puts it down to Dorsey. Dorsey to Ivany in the middle. Ivany over to Darlene. Down low to Hester. Oh, he sent it to Ivany. Ivany just couldn't get on it. Darlene keeps it in the zone. Freeze now able to float it out. Hester sends it across to Ivany, who meets a fresh-faced Freeze coming off of the bench. Puck down in the Hornets' end. Battling along the boards. Freeze trying to work their way towards the crease. Puck behind the net. Now up to the point. Over to the middle. Shot goes behind the net. Darlene able to dig that one out. Puts it up to Ewers. Ewers sends it. Beautiful tape-to-tape pass there over to Hester. Hester keeps muscling his way in with some help now from Ewers. That pass gets deflected, and the Freeze get the clear. Mizzelt and Potts on D. Oh, just found the top of the net on that one. So here we are, still with a lead, but diminished. 2-1 in favor of your Hornets with 12:51 to go. Bergmeyer to take the face-off at center ice, out with Ewers and Wilkins. Potts and Mizzelt on D. Puck comes back to Mizzelt. Mizzelt sends it over to Potts. Potts up to Wilkins. Wilkins heads in with Ewers. He's going to get pushed off the puck. Comes back for it. Bergmeyer in to help. Still battling there on the far boards. Wilkins trying to get that out. Still pinned. Puck has some movement. There is life. Comes up to Mizzelt. Mizzelt throws it down low. Oh, goalie almost didn't see it, it seems like, but able to get that pad save. Potts keeps it at the blue line. Still battling now out to neutral ice. Freeze are going to head into the Hornets' end. Shot. Banbury grabs and holds. 12:04 to go in period number 2. Nolan, Kurvita, and Ferrara up front. Helmer and Darlene on D. Nolan off the draw pushes it over to Helmer. Helmer sends it back his way. Ferrara, I think, was looking for Kurvita. No one grabbed it, and so the Freeze keep it in the end. Puck loose over on the far boards. Freeze come away with it. Good pressure by Helmer. Nolan with a quick grab. He's going to put it up to Ferrara. Ferrara trying to get that clear, but Freeze body in the way. Shot gets blocked. Freeze still in control. Pad save there by Banbury. Nolan's going to grab it. Gets it up to Kurvita and out of the zone. Kurvita heading through 3 defenders. Puck behind the net. Over on the far boards. Shot there by Nolan. Just goes behind the net. Kurvita goes in for the grab here on the near corner. Ferrara in to help. Puck comes loose. Freeze with possession. Nolan looking for a quick takeaway, so the Freeze send it back to the other side. Tip off of Kurvita, but it still makes its way up to a streaking Freeze player. Good blocker save there by Banbury. Back out to neutral ice. Freeze are just going to dump it down low as they go to get a line change. Helmer tries to capitalize. He finds a Freeze stick as he was trying to clear the zone. They're going to send it to the middle. Freeze guy couldn't connect with it. Freeze from the point. They're going to drop it behind the net. Hester in, trying to clear it, but we've got 2 Freeze bodies in the way, so it stays in the Hornets' end. Darlene now. He's going to turn around, shake off his defender, find some space, sends it through the middle, and that will go for an icing. Just squeaked by the net. So back down to the Hornets' end with 10:08 to go. Hornets still up 2-1. Ivany, Hester, Dorsey up front. Potts and Mizzelt on D. Ivany off the draw, able to kick it forward, but Freeze keep possession. Puck comes down low. Mizzelt floats it to Dorsey. Dorsey looking to chip it out. Freeze put a hand on it to keep it in the zone. Potts now finds Dorsey. Dorsey back to Potts. Potts over to Mizzle. We'll try getting out of here on the other side. Oh, Mizzle was looking for Ivany. Free stick gets in the way. They're able to bring it back into the Hornets' end. That shot goes wide. We're going to have a delayed penalty, so the Frees are pulling their goalie to get the extra man. Not sure what that penalty is going to be. I didn't see anything, but they'll let us know in just a moment. We get the stoppage of play, and hooking is the call on Hester. So Hester sits for 2 with 9:27 to go in the second period. Ivany and Dorsey are going to stay out up front. Helmer and Darlene on D. This feels pretty important that we shut this down. Dorsey off the faceoff. Helmer's going to get that grab. He turns it up ice. Frees keep at the blue line. They're going to send it down to the middle. Banbury covers it. Face off now on the other side. Ivan needs to take the draw this time. Freeze with possession off that face-off. They're going to shoot it from the blue line. Not much on that. Puck to the middle. Ivany was able to disrupt it, but it stays in the zone. Oh, we got to get there. We got to get there. Oh, my goodness. Guy was streaking through the middle. Couldn't get anything on that, thankfully for us. Able to get it out of the zone now. Good work by Ivany, able to dispossess the Freeze player of his stick and the puck. All right, Dorsey working down low as we look to kill off this penalty. Darlene, finds Ivany's skate as he was looking for the back of that net. Ivany here in the near corner. He's battling a few Freeze players. Finds some space. He's going to get pushed up against the board. He gets taken down, and that is going to be an interference call negating the Freeze power play. So we will be 4-on-4 for 47 seconds. Wait, what? They're going to put that on Helmer. I don't understand what just happened. So I thought we were going to have a 4-on-4 opportunity. We now have a 5-on-3 for 47 seconds. Strange call there. All right, we have Potts and Mizzelt on D, and Bergmeyer is going to take this face-off down in the Hornets' end. 8:13 to go in period number 2. Hornets still with a 2-1 lead, but this puts them in a real tricky situation. Freeze keep at the blue line as we were looking to clear. Back up top. Looking for a lane. They find it, but that gets deflected wide. That one goes off the post, and our net is off for the stoppage of play. 29 seconds remaining on this 5-on-3 penalty kill. Bergmeyer again will take the face off. Puck over to the Freeze. Up to the blue line. They're going to send it across. Looking for that lane. They find their own player, and Banbury with the grab. 19 seconds to go on this 2-man disadvantage. Bergmeyer battling off that faceoff. Standing strong. Freeze come away with it. Looking to get control. They're going to put it up top. Working their way in. Looking for something. Entire lane of folks. Banbury finds it and holds. 5 seconds. and we will be down just one man. So Hester is standing. He's ready to get back out there. Bergmeyer again takes the draw. Freeze, come away with it. Up to the point. D to D. Hester comes in. He's ready to join the fight. Good blocker save there by Banbury. Bergmeyer sends it out. Hester's well rested, but this has too much on it, and that's going to go for an icing. 1:01 remaining in the penalty kill. 17-14 to go. Hornets still with the 2-1 lead. Great finish to kill off that 5-on-3 opportunity, and now we just need to keep things where they are for a minute and 1 second. Nolan to take the draw. Out with Ivany, Darlene, and Wilkins. Battling here. Freeze player loses his footing, allowing Nolan. Nolan's got the advantage. Keep going, keep going. He's going to turn it around. Finds Wilkins on the backside. Wilkins can't get a shot off before he goes down. Freeze turned it around the other way. Nolan's going to ride his man off the puck, allowing Darlene to collect behind the net. Darlene gets pinned. Freeze are going to send it back the other way. Wilkins able to send that out. Freeze player tried to keep it with his skate, and that didn't work. That's Nolan. Oh! Nolan sends it to the middle. He gets taken down after that shot. Freeze turning it back the other way. Darlene sticking with his man, pushing him to the boards. Puck loose. Another Freeze player in for the grab. Oh, no. Woo. Sometimes those attempts to help out your goalie go awry, but we're okay. We are okay. Nolan brings it all the way down to the Freeze end. He's going to get ridden off here in the near corner. Wilkins in to help. Wilkins with control. He puts it to Kurvita. Kurvita looking for that shot. Goalie with the... Oh, no, goalie thought he had it, didn't. Play goes on. Puck behind the net. Freeze are just going to drop this all the way out. And this will go for an icing. All right, penalty all killed off, folks. The worst might be behind us. 5:45 to go. Hornets still up 2-1. We've made it more difficult for ourselves than we needed to, but we have survived. All right, back to our regularly scheduled lines. Ivany, Hester, and Dorsey up front. Mizzult and Pats on D. Freeze are going to come away with it to clear it out of their end. Freeze player feeling the pressure from Mizzult, so he's going to turn it around, wait for some help. Shot there by 25. Banbury with the save. Puck floating around. Pat sends it over to Mizzult. Mizzult just a little in front of Ivany. Good hustle there by Dorsey, putting the pressure on. Freeze just send it all the way across ice. We're going to drop it back into their end, but Freeze turn it right back around. They're going to float that all the way down as they go to get some fresh feet out. Mizzult, I think, was looking for Hester. Finds a Freeze player, so they keep it in the Hornets zone. 4:50 remaining in period number 2. Dorsey now, he's finding some space. Looking to split those two defenders. He's got Ivany behind him. Ivany floats it up and over! Oh, beautifully done. Dorsey and Ivany on that one. 3-1 for your Hornets. So after just a very tense, very stressful 5-on-3 opportunity, not only do we kill it off, we find a way to come back from that. Add another goal. Fabulous. We're there. We are there, guys. Bergmeyer to take the draw up front with Ewers and Wilkins. Darlene and Helmer on D. Ewers able to push it forward. Now the Freeze send it down into the Hornets' end. Darlene sends it back to Helmer. Helmer looking for something across the ice. He finds Wilkins. Wilkins with the clear. Able to push it forward, and Wilkins comes charging through with Bergmeyer to help. Freeze get the stop, and they're just going to try and drag this out. Helmer stands his ground at the blue line to keep it in the Freeze end. Ewers now in the near corner. He sends it down to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer, he's going to turn it around. Ref's in the way. Sends it to Wilkins. Wilkins up to Helmer. Helmer with the shot. Oh my gosh, how? How on earth? I think it might have been tipped. It might have actually been tipped by a Freeze player. Helmer sends that high and what I thought was not going to be low enough, and somehow it finds its way to the very tippity top of the net and in. 4-1 with just under 4 minutes to go. We are now on the reverse side of what we have unfortunately seen in our games yesterday, where we were on that lower end of goals. Hopefully the boys are feeling real good about this effort so far today. Nolan on the draw with Kervita and Ferrara. Freeze looking to get control off that face-off. Nolan battling for that puck. Comes loose. Freeze looking to get something going here in these waning minutes of period number 2. Potts sends it to Mizzle. Mizzle floats it up. Good pressure there. Oh, Nolan kept that skate on, but they call it offsides. So face-off just outside of the Freeze zone. Farrar grabs it off the face-off. He didn't like what he saw, so he's going to turn it back and go the other way. Freeze with the stick there, able to take it away and pop it into the Hornets' end. Mizzle over to Potts. Potts sends it right back. Mizzle floats it to Farrar. Farrar looking for a streaking Nolan, but we get a free stick in the way. Battling here at neutral ice. Puck comes back. Mizzle to Potts. Potts up to Kervita. Kervita's going to drop it down low. Nolan in for the chase. Goalie's behind the net. Decides he wants to figure something else out and goes back. Up to Potts. Potts working his way down. He's going to take a tough angle shot and finds a Freeze body, leaving a gap there. Ferrara helping on that D. Oh, that hits a post and out. Goalie's best friend. Darlene behind the net. He's feeling some pressure, so he gives it to Potts here on the near side. Potts finds Nolan sitting just outside the blue line. Nolan. Oh, play the defender down, and he just pushes out his stick to take that puck away from Nolan. Shot from Darlene. Nolan battling there, trying to get something on the puck that was left behind. Dorsey in to help. Just over 2 minutes remaining in period 2. Puck comes free. Helmer back. He gets it to Darlene. Darlene turns it up ice. Drops it in. That's going to float down. Goalie's just going to stick it away, allowing a Freeze defender to try and grab it. Dorsey's not interested, so he comes in to harass. Puck all the way across ice. Ivany trying to get some control on it. He's going to send it down low. Dorsey there to get it. He sends it to Hester. Hester looking for Ivany outside the crease. Sends it down to Dorsey. Dorsey chips it back up to Hester. Hester battling here on the near boards. Puck comes free, and the Freeze are going to send it across ice. Helmer gets pushed down. Ivany's going to pick up that puck. Ivany goes through one, chips it up to Dorsey. Dorsey finds Hester in the middle. Hester's getting harassed. Hester turns it around. Hester to Darlene. Darlene wants it. You know it. His shot just goes wide. Ivany giving some pressure, and the Freeze are going to send it out of play. 1:13 to go. Still 4-1 in favor of your Hornets. Bergmeyer, Ewers, and Wilkins up front. Potts and Mizzle on D. Ewers pushing his man to the boards off of that face-off. Bergmeyer in to help. Puck sitting there. Bergmeyer comes away with it. He gets pushed off, and the Freeze look to get the clear, which they do. Puck comes to Mizzle. Mizzle's going to turn it around, floats it down low. Under a minute to play in period 2. Bergmeyer coming in hard there, able to push his guy off the puck. Ewers, he's going to get stuck along the boards. Bergmeyer in to help. Puck comes free, but under Freeze control for the moment. Wilkins in to help. Freeze are going to move to the middle. Potts and Mizzle sticking with their guys on D. That one's going to come across to the middle. and Freeze could not connect on that pass through the crease. Freeze not able to maintain the zone. They're going to drop it down. 20 seconds to go in period 2. Puck over to Mizzelt. Mizzelt back to Potts. Potts finds Bergmeyer, who chips it in down low and looked like he was going for a line change, but he changed his mind. Oh, Bergmeyer's shot just gets off of a Freeze leg. Freeze looking to get something, and that does it. Period number 2 in the books. All right, we will be getting a clean sheet of ice, so come back in about 10, and we will see how we finish this out.
All right, moments away from puck drop, third period. Fresh 17 on the clock. And I asked this question to the nation. Does it feel good to finally have a lead in a game? My great-grandmother once said it's always darkest before the dawn. And it truly is a new day rising for your Hornets. As we will start out with Nolan, Ferrara, and Kervita, backed up by Mizzelt and Potts. Potter, we haven't got the word on how he's doing, so we will try to find out that info. Freeze, come away, dump it into the Hornet zone, and Mizzelt gives chase behind the net. Tries to throw it out, it's naked in the slot, it's banging, as the Freeze now come out with authority in these early stages, trying to center the puck, thrown up on the wall, pinched by the D, thrown on net, there's a tip out front, Kervita sweeps it away. Kervita headmans the puck all the way up, down into the Freeze zone, and we get an icing. For those joining, Hornets up 4-1. On goals by Helmer, Darlene, Ivany, and Dorsey. Face off deep in Hornet territory. Ivany on the drop. Puck comes away. The Freeze drive towards the net. Banging behind. Now in the near far side corner. Ivany trying to work the puck. Dolly in there pushing his man to the wall. Ivany throwing it up to Dorsey. Dorsey head-manning it all the way up to, here's Hester rolling. He gains on the right side, walking against a huge guy. Look at this. He's penetrating. Oh, stopped right on the line, but banging out front. More banging. And Helmer can't hold the line, and the Hornets will have to reset. Throwing it up, chipped out of play, and we'll get a face-off. So, just outside the Hornet zone, Ivany on the drop. Puck swept to the near side wall, and Fargo just throws it down. There is some controversy. They are not the Freeze. I saw a guy with an Angels cap, but I think I'll still call him the Freeze. Puck battling in the corner. Dorsey now tries to throw it up the wall. Sent over. Potts dishing it to Mizzelt. Mizzelt through the neutral zone. Slides it in on the tender. And Fargo has to break back the other way. Through the neutral zone, picked off by Mizzelt, who slides it over to Potts. Potts throwing it up the wall. Gets it to Ivany, who slides it, and they go rink wide, and it's sent all the way back to Mizzelt in the Hornet zone. Long stretch pass to nowhere, and we should get an icing. And indeed, we do. So we get a line change. Berge, Wilkins, and Ewers on. Backed up by Darlene and Helmer. Face off to the left of Bambry. Berge on the draw. Puck tied up on the dot. Pinched up and a cranker over the net. Back to the point. They throw it back down behind the net. Helmer gives chase in the near side corner. Skipped over his stick as the boys battle on the wall. Right in the slot. Dangerous. Still banging. Thrown off to the side. Ewers looks up ice. He chips it up the wall, and it sneaks past a defender. And the Fargo Freeze will have to collect in their own zone. They drive up through the neutral zone, gaining on the right side. Walking in, a shot does not connect. It's thrown out front at the point, and a cranker. Off target again. And Helmer chips it into the corner. Wilkins trying to throw it up the wall to Bergmeyer. Boys battling on the wall. Who's going to come away? I don't know. Kicked up to Wilkins. Wilkins now skating. Throwing it down into the Fargo zone as Ewers gives chase. Ewers from the corner, trying to center it with one hand. Banged up for our, look at this. It's Ferrara, wheeling, dealing. Round the corner, sliding all the way back, held up. Kervita sliding it back to Darlene. Darlene from the point, firing, tip, nothing, banging, nothing. All the way around, Kervita trying to center the puck. Sent back down. Quick shot by Nolan, hits some equipment. And now Kervita from the corner, sliding all the way back to Helmer at the point. Helmer wheels, unloads, tipped. Into the equipment again. Kervita battling. trying to get it out front. Ferrara down there too. Everyone's working it. Fargo from behind the net, try to slide it up, held by Darlene. Darlene just throws it back down. And finally, Fargo throws it down, and we will get an icing with 13:32 remaining in this contest. As there's blood in the water, and these Hornets want more goals. Nolan on the draw, ties up with a huge guy. Fargo now comes away through the neutral zone, sliding up, gaining the line. Mizzle does a good job slowing the play down, banging. Nolan on the wall, right out in front in the slot. Quick shot into the equipment. Can't be held in the zone, and Fargo's going to have to reset. Pitching down into the Hornet zone. Mizzle controls from behind the net. Slides it up just a bit too far for Nolan. And Fargo now transitions back the other way. Pinched up by Mizzle. Nolan working it on the red line. Dances across. Looks. Curls and looks for the headman pass. No one home, so he's going to take it himself. Stopped. Thrown up. Battling on the boards. Picked up by Nolan, and Nolan just chucks it down into the Fargo end and collected by Fargo D. Headman pass goes awry. And Ivany picks it up in the Hornet zone, slides it up to Mizzle. Mizzle pitching it up over the line, over Hester's head. And Fargo resets from their baseline. Hester throwing it back down, holding the Fargo freeze with a vicious forecheck as Dorsey comes in to help out. Puck comes back to Darlene. He slides it down all the way down to Ivany, past Dorsey's stick, and Fargo cycles behind their net from the near side corner. Fargo tries to drive it across. Ivany in the zone. Oh, he tried to get a shot off, just thwarted at the last second. Back to Helmer at the point. Helmer down to Hester. Hester, short side shot turned away. Huge guy now pitches it out of the zone. We should get an icing. And that, indeed, is the call with 11:45 on the clock. 4-1 is your score. So we'll do it again. Ivany throws the puck down into the corner. Dorsey giving chase. Fargo now trying to roll out of their zone, sliding it behind the net, looking to reset on the breakout. Here comes Fargo through the neutral zone, waffling a pass to the left side, held to the outside by Darlene. Darlene slows up his man. Fargo looking to center. Puck tipped, but held at the point. They go D to D, chipped up there by Dorsey. Dorsey rolling with Hester, all the way in. Dorsey, can't even see him. He slides it across. Hester just couldn't get there. He was boxed out by a huge guy. And now Helmer holds on the line. Picked up by Ivany, sliding it over to Darlene. Darlene looks up ice to Dorsey. Dorsey tried to chip it into the zone and was picked off by a Fargo player who now cycles. Looking up on the far side wall, transitioning through the neutral zone. Picked aside there. Darlene's going to box his man out and cycle behind the Hornet net. Looking up ice, waffling to Hester. Hester chips it up. Can't be held in the zone, and it slides back down. Hester gloves it out of the air, banging on the wall. Fargo comes away. Helmer throws it out, up to Hester. Hester, up to Ivany. Ivany breaking in. It's Ivany. Ivany, yes, Ivany. Did you see that? Nifty puck drop move, pulled the goalie to the side, and he just tapped it in. And your score is 5-1. Nice fast break there. Well done. Hester throwing that pass right over to Ivany. Bergmeyer on the draw. Comes away. Wilkins now trying to drive into the zone. And we do get an offsides. Bergmeyer pairing up with a huge guy. Puck dishes to the near side wall. Fargo trying to drive it out. Sneaks past Mizzle. Now Wilkins controls, giving back to Potts. Potts looking up ice. Gets it to Ewers. Taps it to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer rolling. Enters the zone, loses the puck, but it's held up on the wall smartly. Ewers from the corner, trying to center. He's boxed out by a man. And now Fargo counters back the other way. Looking up ice. Headmanning across. They cycle from their own D. Good pressure by Ewers, who holds the line. Bergmeyer in to bang his man. Puck on the wall. Who's going to come away? I don't know. Now, Fargo from their D, intercepted by Wilkins. Wilkins holding on the wall, battling his man. He's trying to send it out. Potts holds the line. Potts throwing down to Berge. Wheeling and dealing on the circle. Looking across. Back to Potts from the point. Potts driving, looking, firing, tip. Oh, Wilkins couldn't turn the corner on it. Beautiful rebound opportunity. Mizzle fires long range. Nothing. It's out front. Now finally covered at 9:22 in the third frame. Good sequence by the Hornets. Just couldn't put it past Fargo tender. We've got a face-off to the right with Nolan, Ferrara, and Kurvita, backed up by Helmer and Dahlin. Nolan on the draw. Puck skips to the boards. Here comes huge guy rolling down the right side. Helmer trying to power it. Freeze breaking in, centering pass. Held and sopped up by Bambry. On a good scoring attempt by the Fargo Freeze, who tried to drive in and center that puck. To no avail. Face off to the right of Bambry. Nolan tying up right on the dot. Boys going down. Chipped out by Dahlin out of the zone. Fargo's going to have to reset. Hold on the line. Dahlin pinches it up. Tries to get it to Kurvita. Kurvita now looking to center. Over to Nolan. Nolan trying to drive it down. There it's in the air. It's banging. Fargo coming away on the counter. Rolling up. Stick check there smartly by Helmer. Fargo still driving. Gaining the line. Walking in. Dahlin holding him to the outside. There's a centering pass to nowhere. Kurvita slides it up on the wall. Kurvita can't quite get there, and it goes down, and another huge guy will pick it up for Fargo. Cycling behind the net. Leaving it for man. Disrupting by Nolan. Fargo having a hard time picking up on the breakout. Puck is sticky. Now they transition. Working it through. Still held down by the Hornets. Dorsey in to stop that play. Ferrara from the high slot. Fires a shot. There's a rebound. Banging. Nothing. Fargo now driving up through the neutral zone. Stopped by Helmer. Helmer drives in. Helmer. He slides it up. Helmer more. No Helmer. Dorsey on the wall, trying to hold the zone. Fargo comes away, rolls through the red line, through the blue line, sliding it across. Oh, and Helmer tips it right back to Bambry for the save. Unconventional, but nonetheless. There's something sort of something. It looks like Dahlin may be shown the gate. And indeed, that is the case, much to his protests. We'll see what the call is. Cross-checking is the call. So, Fargo will be on the man advantage here with 7:48 in the third, with your Hornets leading 5-1. Hester on the draw. He's got Dorsey out there, Mizzle and Potts. Puck comes away, back to the point for Fargo as they cycle across, looking. Surveying. They go D to D. Point operation, looking, circling around. Hornets doing a good job boxing out. Now Freeze from the circle, firing, turned away by Bambry. Potts throwing it up just beyond Hester on his backside, and Fargo's going to have to reset. They go D to D, looking for a lane up ice. Potts stops it short on the line, driving. Now Fargo. It's good action here as Potts does his best, and it's thrown back, and Dorsey will have to collect. Dorsey looking from his own corner, sliding it to Mizzle. Mizzle looks, slides it all the way back, and it's just beyond Potts' reach, and it's at the point for the Fargo Freeze. They drive it back down. Mizzle from behind his net, sliding it across the crease, all the way down, and we'll get an icing. 1:06 left in the man advantage as the Hornets bring on fresh troops. We'll have Ivany and Ewers. And Wilkins. We're short on D, so we got to figure this out. Ewers on the draw. Puck slides to the far side boards as the Fargo tries to keep it in the zone. From the circle, battered away by the Hornets. They're still naked in the slot. Ivany working his man, throwing it down. Ivany curling around, working it, sliding it up to Ewers. Ewers pitches it up just beyond Ivany's stick. It's held out of the zone. Wilkins chasing his man. Now they go D to D, looking up ice, sliding it across from the red line. Now breaking down. Fargo from the circle, looking, trying to center it, held up smartly by Ivany, now sent back to Helmer behind the net. Helmer looks up, looking, chucking it up on the glass, sending it all the way down. And we get an icing with 19 seconds left. And the man advantage for Fargo is 6:07 on the clock. And 5 markers on the board for your Hornets versus 1 for Fargo. So Ewers will be on the draw. Tied up on the dot. Ewers tightening his man. A save by Bambury. Fargo still controlling from the wall. Ewers pinning his man, trying to swipe it out, working it. Now all the way up to Wilkins. Wilkins driving down, gaining the line, sweeping it through, and now it's pushed aside. And Fargo trying to get control in their own zone. As the penalty has been killed off. Darlene out of the box, over to Helmer. Helmer sliding it up, down into the Fargo zone. Leaving it behind the net, they look to cycle out and work on the breakout. Still behind, pinned down by the ferocious Edina forecheck. And this one sneaks all the way down, and we should get an icing. We do with 5:23 on the clock. So both teams at full strength. Nolan on the draw. Sent over to Ferrara, sorry. Ferrara sending it down in the corner. Nolan battling his man. Ferrara working it. Pushed to the ice from his knees, trying to work it. Now Fargo on the break. Sent back down, battling on the line. Boys exchanging stick checks. And now it's sent down into the Hornet zone. Mizzle from behind the net. Taps it up. Just enough to Ferrara, who throws it back down. Pops from behind his net. Sweeps it aside, tries to get it to Kervita. Kervita now chipping it up ice, held on the boards by the Freeze. Kervita once again chips it. Now it's a foot race. Nolan charging down, trying to get at the puck. Swept up by the Fargo Freeze, who throw it down, and we'll get an icing. 4:35 on the clock. And we'll do it again. Fargo on the boards. Trying with the ticking clock remaining. Now they sweep it up through the neutral zone. Push it down into the Hornet zone. Mizzle will be first man back. Cycles behind his net. Looks up ice. He's going to take it himself. He's running to the boards and he just pushes it all the way down. And the Hornets go for a line change as we get an icing. So of Hester, Dorsey, Ivany, Helmer, Darlene to take up the cause from deep in the Hornet zone. Face off to the right of Bambury. Ivany positions himself. Slaps it aside, held at the point. They go D to D, looking for a lane. A tip, nothing out front. Huge guy comes in, pinches down. From the corner, Helmer boxing his man out, helping out is Ivany. Freeze controlling, trying to scoop it down. Boys battling in the corner. From the high slot, huge guy tries to throw it down into the corner. Darlene's going to meet his man there, battling on the puck. Who's going to come away? It's Fargo as they try to drive it towards the lane. Right out front, swept away by Helmer, who throws it out of the zone. Here's a break for Hester. Hester rolling in. He's got Dorsey. Hester over. tipped away at the last second. He couldn't quite center it. What a fast break opportunity. Now, up on the wall. Darlene pinches down, rolls in on the circle, throws it down to Dorsey. Dorsey from the circle. He's rolling all the way around, looking, stopping, throwing it down to Hester. Hester looks across to Ivany, to Helmer from the point, down to Hester in the corner. Hester pushed aside by Huge Guy. Now the Fargo Freeze try to maintain control. Helmer driving in, firing, and the Fargo tender flashes his leather and ends the press with 3 minutes on the dot remaining. So Bergie, Wilkins, and Ewers, backed up by Mizzle and Potts. Freeze cycling behind, picked off by Wilkins. Wilkins throws to Bergmeyer. Picked off by the Fargo Freeze as they send it through the neutral zone, all the way down. Mizzle will collect in his own zone. Mizzle cycles behind the net to Potts. Potts looks up ice to Ewers. Ewers tried to center it up, stopped by Huge Guy, who throws it in for an offsides with 2:35 on the clock. Bergmeyer on the draw. Puck swept back to Mizzle. Mizzled up to Wilkins. Wilkins tries to power it. He does. He gets it to Bergie. Bergie driving in, stopping short on the circle. Trying to center it down, and it's covered up by the Fargo Tendy. Fargo from behind their own net, looking to cycle up on the near side wall for a breakout. They do, and roll through the red line and gain on the right side. Walking down, a shot into Mizzle's shin pads, and now it's Wilkins sliding all the way across to Ewers. Ewers on his backside. Punch back down into the Hornet zone, and Potts will have to collect this. Potts cycles behind his net up to Wilkins. Wilkins turns, burns, throws it up to Bergie. Held on the line by the defense. Mizzle from his corner, chipping it up on the wall. Boys battling. Fargo coming away. They cannot hold the zone, and they're going to have to reset with less than 2 minutes to play in this contest. Up on the wall, they punch it down into the Hornet zone, and Potts will be the first man back. Cycling behind his cage. Fargo desperately trying to get possession. Ewers tries to throw it up on the wall. A weak shot goes awry. Now Mizzle from behind the cage. He's pinned up. Bergmeyer comes in to help out. Picks up the puck. Out front. Quick shot. Fargo couldn't contain it. There's another shot. Goes across the crease. Mizzle banging his man off the corner. Wilkins throwing it out and sending it all the way down for an icing with 1:05 left in this game. Nolan on the draw against Huge Guy. Puck sent in, swept away by Darlene behind the net, centers it up to Kervita. Kervita pinned on the wall. He still managed to try to power it out, still on the wall. Comes away to Nolan. Nolan sliding it up. Ferrara takes a seat on the ice, and this one goes all the way down for Kervita to capture behind the net. Trying to center it, rolling around, contained by the Fargo D. Nolan from the corner. Working the puck, battling. Fargo comes away, and they slam it down. Darlene in a footlace. Sweeps away the puck from behind the net. The Hornets look to now break out. Darlene over to Helmer. Helmer looks, slides it back to Darlene. Darlene throwing it up on the wall to Ferrara, but it's pinched by the Fargo D and sent back down. Helmer from behind his net. Up to Kervita, one-timing it. Held right there. Nolan trying to pickpocket with 10 seconds to play. Fargo, one last gasp as they push it into the zone. Trying to center it around the net. Looking. It's on the post. It's clanking. It's banging. Comes away to Nolan. And that is it, people. Your Bantam Hornets are victorious, 5-1 against Fargo. Well played. Back and forth hockey. And we have a quick turnaround. We have a 5 o'clock game against Warroad. Next door at the Memorial Arena. But we will savor this victory, as they have come few and far between this weekend. So that's all we have for you today. Until 5 o'clock, enjoy your afternoon.